Hi, it's been a year since I made another video. First things first is one of my upcoming videos, unless I get like a lot of views or something, or just something amazing happens. But another ideal video I do plan to do is the continuation to what if Deku had a harem squirt. That did get 25 likes, but I just haven't been checking. Or whatever recently. So I digress. Anyways, what if Deku was trained by Toph? That would just be kind of hilarious. So, what happened to where your boy Deku's being Deku, and we'll have it to where he's we're gonna fast forward most of it, right? Like most of the stuff stays kind of true, and we might have it to where there's like foreshadows of like him might be able to control elements or something, but we're gonna have it slightly different. There's gonna be people that can some people that could do other things like bending and other things just like it is in real life, like where people have unique attributes and unique skills. But we're just gonna replace, like, so instead of me using my typical they can use chi or they can use whatever XX, it's gonna be, instead of using quirks, they could just bend elements, right? So Deku, unpronounced to them, Bakugo and Deku got fed up and he was like, bro, just fight me, dog. He was scared shitless, bro. He was like, bro, just fight me, dog. So they end up going to blows. Deku was doing some light training or whatever, but he ended up getting bodied pretty bad, right? And this was before the giant robot. I said that so right. This is before the entrance exam. So Bakugo bodies him. I mean, Deku pulled up a pretty good fight. The best way I could describe it is, imagine how Goku and Frieza was throwing hands, and there was a couple times that Goku almost got the lead, but how Frieza is, right? So he a little scary. So he's like, but then the second he regains control, he's like, yeah, I'm superior in every way. That's kind of how Bakugo was. Like some of the stuff Deku would do in the future, it was like that, but slightly off. So he just got body, and Bakugo kind of got worried because Deku was like weaving certain of his, combination and combos and shit, right? And it wasn't good hands. It was Deku getting bitch slapped. Just sit your ass down, little nigga. Just looking at that nigga, standing over him on some big Debo shit. And then, threw a couple more explosions just to rub it in. Bakugo was like, yeah, you need to know your place. And then he dipped. He ran off on the plug twice on some shit, right? Your boy Deku was just sitting there like, I don't want to be a bitch my whole life. And then, a semi-muscular female pulls up walking. You could say she's about in her clean 20s, okay? Yeah, Deku, feeling like, he sucks at life. He looks up and sees Toph, and he's like, who are you? And then Deku passes out. Deku wakes up and he's confused. He's like, why do I have a blindfold on? And then this will be like a comedic moment where he falls and he's trying to get his bearings or whatever. And then you hear a voice, and yes, it's Toph, my boy. So Toph is just looking at this little nigga like, hey, what now? He's like, wait, why do I not have my shoes on? Wait, do I have a different outfit on? It's AIRBENDER typical stable type shit, my boy. And so Deku's like, wait, what's going on? You said you don't want to be a bitch your whole life. Let's just see if I can help you out with that. But I do have to see if you're even qualified to be trained by yours truly. and Deku's like, wait, what you mean by that? He's like, hey, don't worry about all that. So anyways, a brief moment passes, and Deku and Toph ended up going outside. And then Toph is like, all right, I want you to try to hit me. He's like, try to hit you, but how am I going to hit you if I can't see you? And she's like, come on, it can't be that hard. She would be coaching him, but in a very tough manner. It'd just be like, come on, man. Just sense the environment around you. Feel the earth. Become one with the earth. I saw that fight with that blonde kid. It looked like he whooped your ass pretty bad. But the main issue, as she walks up closer to him, Deku, kind of tense. He's like, first of all, you're going to need to relax yourself. Deku relaxes. Second of all, she just like earth bends like a fucking piece of rock in this nigga solar plexus. What? Nigga sobbing, right? And so that happens. He's like, all right, be relaxed, but also be firm, be centered, be like a rock. A rock doesn't get upset because the wind's blowing at it. Blah, blah, blah. And then she goes on, more into like, the earthbender or, being grounded and shit like that, right? So, now that we got that part taken care of, sorry about the wind, kiddos. But now that we got that part taken care of, Deku, after, spending some time with this complete stranger, okay, she's like, now, you need to be grounded, but firm, relaxed, but steady. And so she starts teaching, showing Deku different movements. Move this leg like this and move this leg like this. And she would actually have some like brief moments about when she was younger, and she was teaching Aang earthbending or whatever. So Deku was moving barefooted, keeping his grounding, and then she's like, all right, time to add some obstacles. And Deku was like, okay, which we could say maybe like a week at least passed by. And so they would proceed with this, training as per usual. And she's like, now she's doing earthing. She's moving slight pieces of earth to like see if, he'll get, bound by. So he's moving, he's bobbing, he's weaving, he's feeling, he's predicting. He's basically doing everything Toph told him, to do and stuff, right? And Toph told him the whole time that you're here, you shall not take your blindfold off unless I tell you otherwise. And so if you take off your blindfold, you will not get no more training from me. And Deku was like, all right, very well then. But then Toph also made another point. You're gonna need to remain barefooted though, Deku. You're not gonna be able to see without your eyes unless you fully keep yourself connected to the ground itself. And Deku was like, all right, very well then. And so what Deku typically does is he's kind of, working on just staying grounded and also seeing. So for him to get like the bare bones of like combos and different, earth bending techniques and stuff like that, it took about a good month. Toph 1 is a prodigy, and she also literally made metal bending. And on top of that, Deku himself is a very smart, very intelligent individual. So you put those things together, I think we got a good recipe. So Deku right now is able to do bare bones, earth bending. I think it was 3 months in total. Or how many months was it for this shit? I don't remember how many months. God damn, hold up. Gotta go look. Okay, well, alright. So it was 10 months. It was 10 or 9. I just looked it up on Google, went with the first thing. So Deku first month, he just got the basics down. Deku second and third month, he's actually getting some more of a complex stuff. So Toph is ranging it up a bit. She's actually hitting this nigga with boulders and stuff. And he just got a boom, 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 boom. He hitting some good combos, good block. He starts to get to the point where he's throwing it back. So now him and Toph are actually throwing. That is a dog. So now him and Toph are actually, going, rock for rock and stuff like that. And then Toph made a very good point. He's like, all right. So let's crank up your training here a bit. And Deku was like, what do you mean? He kind of sweating a little bit, but he got a little more grip now. So he's not too much of a, wuss with it. He was like, what you mean, boss lady? Like on some, on some shit. And she was like, we gon' you're not always going to be around Earth. So you're not always going to be able to not be able to bend or bend as efficiently as you are now. For example, let's say you're in an environment where there's sand or something. For any of you Avatar fans, let's say, you're around sand or something. your connection to Earth is going to be dramatically reduced. So you're going to still need to be able to stay somewhat solid and somewhat connected. So what you would need to do, and then she starts talking about, different techniques and different, ways of structuring herself, because they eventually went to a sandy area, and Toph was able to move around and practically like nearly sandbend almost to like literal proficiency, all right? And so Deku was learning this and just learning like the base principle of sand, which is sand is just earth, just, not as, concrete, not as, together. So Toph was like, all right, cool. Now that we got this out of the way, let's talk about raw techniques, just fighting, like just throwing some good hands. So Toph shows them, it's like basically, if you look at this stuff closely, what a lot of people don't realize, especially where I'm from, is most of our bending techniques are actually fighting techniques that eventually developed into bending techniques. Not the other way around where they were bending techniques, then fighting. No, it was fighting, then bending. This is the order that it became in. So by you learning all these bending moves, if you can't or will choose not to bend for whatever reason, since you want to be a wannabe hero, let's just simply say that you'd be also able to throw hands to higher proficiency. So she would then proceed to beat this nigga ass. But don't get it wrong, your boy Deku is fighting back something devious. He weave, good punch, her block, elbow to the chin. That nigga, good night, slumber. Nigga, I'm up. Trying to throw. Oh, this nigga Deku was fighting for his life, my boy. It literally was like, he'll get dog every time she upped the training for like about a week. And then he'll come back actually throwing some hands. And then so this pattern continued for about the clean 5-6 month-ish, right? And then eventually she was like, all right, let's see if you're really, really talented. And once again, Deku is literally, he's covered in dirt. He's not completely like just raw dog dirty, but he's far from clean, all right? Like, he don't smell like ass and booty, but like he just got dirt everywhere. Rocks, debris, sand debris. She's like, let's see if you can do this. So basically, she puts him in like a little metal box. And Deku is like, wait, I can't see anything. She's like, no, yeah, you can, because I can see you just perfectly fine. And then so Deku had to spin literally, he's like, yeah, you can eat the second you get out of there. She knew he had a potential because one time when they were fighting, she knew he had the potential for this, is because when they were fighting in the sand a few months back, Deku was bending stuff, but he wasn't aware, since once he had this blindfold on for so long, he wasn't aware of the simple fact that he bended metal. And so Toph was like, oh, looks like we got another prodigy on our hands, right? And so basically Toph is like, yeah, get out of this metal, confinement, and the second you do that, my boy, you get to eat. Deku literally was just screaming and crying and just punching it, like, come on, that's not fair, you're trying to kill me. And shit like that. Like, he's like, bro, come on. He's like, look, I know you crazy with your training and all, but come on. No one is expected to do this. Well, here, she hops on it, gets comfortable. Here, let me tell you a story real quick. And for you niggas that have watched it, she would literally just be talking about the time that she was trapped, but she wouldn't be saying it in the first person. She'll be saying it in the third person. And then she would basically be like, well, there was a 13-year-old, however old she was, there was a 13-year-old that was, how would you say, trapped, about to get sold off back to her parents, even though she like basically told her whole life story. And Deku realized, like, oh, he realized who she was talking about, and he was like, oh, that nigga started hitting that hole, some DV, and all you heard was click, 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 clack, clack. This is just him hitting on that shit religiously, right? A week passed. A week, my boy. That nigga was struggling. He just kept going for a solid week, my dude. And so eventually he broke out. Pew, 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 pew. He felt the connection. He grabbed, crumbled, and he slid out. And all you heard was that was a shitload of water. And you don't question how much blood it was. This nigga elbows, like his whole everything was fucked up. His knees, his shin, like all of that shit was fucked up. And Toph was like, yeah, I expected this much. I expected this much. So basically, she took Deku to a special place, told him, sit down, and just give it a second. Just sit there for a little bit. She took him to like a little special place. It's a place she made and did make, with all that earth and stuff that's there, and enough of that energy that is there. He was able to whatchamacallit. He was able to, heal up a little bit faster, and she also put some ointment on him too to actually help. This is equivalent to like how Buddhist monks and certain people of certain Shaolin discipline deal with iron bone training. So that's basically what happened here. Deku accidentally did some iron bone training, and Toph did anticipate this being a possibility. Then she told him, here, this is your food, open up, tossed a rock in his mouth. This is also, I don't know if this is true or not, but some people say that people that have been in a state of meditation for an extended period of time typically don't need to eat nearly as much, and they place rocks upon their mouths for that to give them their substance. So Deku proceeded to meditate for about a clean 2-ish weeks. This is to ground himself spiritually and physically. And then this is how we have a even more beast Deku. I'm not gonna lie to you, I kinda did lose track of how many months, but we'll leave this part off because it's way too long now. We'll leave this part off on Deku being on like his last month or so, and they're finishing up the training here. Catch y'all niggas later.